Three-time World Superbike champion Toprak Razgatlioglu just finished his first full MotoGP pre-season test, and the results are brutally honest. The Turkish superstar ended the Sepang test 19th overall with a time of 1:58.326, almost 2 full seconds behind pace-setter Alex Marquez, and he's not hiding his frustration. After dominating World SBK for years, Razgatlioglu is facing the harsh reality of MotoGP, and he's admitted, quote, "I'll probably struggle in the first 5 races." Razgatlioglu made his MotoGP debut with Pramac Yamaha during the Sepang shakedown test from January 29 to 31, reserved for test riders, rookies, and Yamaha's full roster. He was the only Yamaha race rider on track for day 1, and finished 4th overall as the fastest Yamaha. That looked promising, but when the official 3-day test started from February 3 to 5 with the entire grid, the reality check hit hard. The Turkish rider finished 19th in the combined timesheets, 1.924 seconds behind Alex Marquez, who topped the test, 0.746 seconds behind the fastest Yamaha of Alex Rins, and even 170 thousandths behind his teammate Jack Miller. For someone who won 3 consecutive World SBK championships and was almost always first or second in Superbike, seeing his name at the bottom of the timing screens was a massive shock. Razgatlioglu was brutally honest about his struggles after the final day of testing. He said, quote, "It's not easy for me to see myself so low in the standings, especially after my time in Superbikes. This morning, I followed Alex Marquez and saw him riding very smoothly, but I can't do that. I'll probably struggle in the first 5 races. The main issue is adapting his riding style from World SBK to MotoGP." In Superbike, Razgatlioglu built his entire career on using the rear tire to turn the bike with the throttle, sliding the rear, and using aggressive throttle application to rotate the bike through corners. But that doesn't work in MotoGP with Michelin tires. He explained, quote, "I've been focused on riding, but I think I'll change the suspension setup because I need help turning. I'm riding as always, but the timings aren't right, and that obviously makes my motivation drop. With this bike, you can't turn with the throttle. You have to ride it like a Moto2 bike. That's what Jack Miller tells me, but it's very easy to say and not so easy to do." The Michelin tires are completely different from the Pirelli tires he used in World SBK. The front tire now, the feedback is perfect, but the rear tire is still difficult because it's so sensitive. It's not easy for me to understand the tire grip. The Pirelli, when you feel the spin, it's easy to manage, but when the Michelin spins, it doesn't stop again. The other riders know this tire better, but for me, it's very difficult. You need to ride like a Moto2 style and open the gas very gentle, because this tire is so sensitive. He went even deeper into his frustration, saying, quote, "When I'm riding the bike with a new tire, it's so difficult to wait a lot to open the gas. Because in Superbike, I'm always using the rear tire to turn. I was always using the rear tire for sliding and pickup and good acceleration. But MotoGP is the opposite." Razgatlioglu tried some setup changes to help him adapt. He's been experimenting with a higher handlebar position to try and bring some of his Superbike style to MotoGP. He joked about it, saying, quote, "Yeah, I'm riding a touring bike now. I just try like a Superbike style. In some areas I feel perfect, especially on the brakes. I'm really strong with this handlebar, but I lose on the straight. I lose a little bit of top speed and maybe I lose a little bit in the corner because this handlebar is high, so it's not easy to lean down." But the higher handlebar created another problem. The increased distance between the lowest point of the seat and the maximum height any part of the tail unit can reach meant he had to go out on track on several occasions without the rear winglets, with the resulting aerodynamic penalty. So he's been testing with and without the rear wing, trying to find a solution. The frustration really hit him on the final morning of testing. "It wasn't nice to see myself there. As a Superbike rider, I was used to something different. The morning wasn't the best. I was in a good mood. I went out on new tires. I thought I could lap between 1:57.6 and 1:57.8. But I was slower. That annoyed me, and my motivation dropped." He also spoke about watching other riders to try and learn. "I'm angry because the lap times just aren't there. I'm trying to adapt my riding style. Under braking, I feel good and comfortable, but I struggle in fast corners. When I open the throttle, the rear tire starts sliding and doesn't stop, and that makes it hard to turn. He specifically mentioned watching Alex Marquez, saying, quote, "I also observed Alex Marquez. What he does on corner entry and through the turn is impressive. It's definitely a combination of style and setup. We need to work on both." His teammate Jack Miller has been helping him through the adaptation process. "Jack helped me a lot today. I followed him for a few laps to understand how to approach some corners that are still tricky for me." He also mentioned, quote, "I rode with Jack for a while on new tires, and it was obvious how fast Jack was in the corners, especially the fast ones. But here's the thing that makes this even more difficult. Yamaha's new V4 engine had technical issues during the test. Engine problems led Yamaha to bench all of its riders on Wednesday for safety reasons. While they found a fix, they were able to resume on Thursday with a more cautious approach, but that cost Razgatlioglu valuable track time. So out of what should have been 5 days of testing, including the shakedown, he effectively lost a full day. Razgatlioglu's Pramac team is fully behind him despite the struggles. Gino Borsoy, team manager of Pramac, said, quote, "Because he's polite and a great guy." The comparison everyone's making is to Ben Spies, who joined MotoGP full-time in 2010 with Yamaha after winning the World SBK title in 2009. Spies went on to claim a Grand Prix victory at Assen in 2011 and 6 podiums, finishing 5th in the championship. That's the benchmark for World SBK champions making the jump to MotoGP. Looking ahead, Razgatlioglu knows he needs time. He said, quote, "I think it will take 5 races before we find the right path. I really hope the learning process is quick." When asked if he's worried, he responded, "It's not easy for me to see myself so far down, especially after Superbikes. The first 5 races will be tough. I'm going to suffer." The next and final preseason test takes place at Buriram in Thailand on February 21 to 22, just 1 week before the season-opening Thai Grand Prix on March 1st. Razgatlioglu said about Buriram, quote, "I think we'll try another setup. Because we haven't touched the suspension much here, we'll just try some new parts and focus mainly on riding. At the moment it seems we need a different setup. I need more speed in corners and on entry." The 2026 calendar features a record equaling 22 rounds, and Razgatlioglu is setting realistic expectations. He's accepted that the first 5 races will be a learning experience, and he's not making excuses. He's being brutally honest about where he is and what he needs to improve. So, there you have it. Toprak Razgatlioglu is facing the toughest challenge of his career. He's gone from dominating World SBK to finishing 19th in MotoGP testing, nearly 2 seconds off the pace. He admits his motivation has dropped seeing himself so low in the timesheets, but he's not giving up. His team believes in him, the paddock respects him, and everyone knows he has the raw speed. The question is whether he can adapt his riding style fast enough to be competitive. What do you think? Can Toprak turn this around? How long will it take him to get up to speed? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more MotoGP news. I'll catch you in the next one.